State, who has led a very formidable team on the executive here. And see, I can see so many of you are sitting there, and I'm told at the last count over 25, you have abandoned Ondo State. No woman still here. I thank my political associates. There are many here, both sides of the divide. I saw
extraordinary man. Father, we thank you for the night she lived. We say be exalted in the name of Jesus. On the record of Psalm 112 a short while ago, that the descendants of the righteous shall be mighty on earth, and their generations will also even continue to be blessed. And so, Father, we pray for the children and the entire Akojopo family, that all the blessing will be blessed.
All right, so you will find in the next story what stood Mama Grace Akeredolu out as a woman and a mother. Motherhood is not just measured by childbirth, but by the quality of upbringing given to children. For Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, his mother, late Evangelist Grace Akeredolu, was an epitome of grace, kindness, and passion for humanity. In this special report, Osrc takes a look at the life and times of Mami, as the governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, fondly called his mother. The report was put together by Kunle Ariyo.
In February this year, children, family members, and well-wishers celebrated the 90th birthday of Mama Lady Emba. She breathed her last on Thursday morning. Late Mrs. Akeredolu, according to testimonies of her children, was a successful businesswoman who satisfied all to raise her children after the untimely death of her husband.
She's a very virtuous woman, a very supportive person, a selfless mother, and I will give her all the kudos, because ever since my father died, she has been single-handedly taking care of all of us.
Her committed Anglican member and a lady evangelist was attested to by everyone who came in contact with her as a true Christian who believed in the good of the society.
She has gone through a lot for us. I can't start recalling, but she went through a lot to make sure that all of us
sees the grace of God.
Mama Grace Akeredolu, who hailed from Ibotu in the local government area of Ondo State, married to late Reverend Ola Akeredolu from Owo. Her death has been described by eminent Nigerians, groups, and organizations as a great loss. Kunle Ariyo, Osrc News.
Grace Akeredolu's final exit events continue tomorrow with a service of songs as well as commendation service. All right, let's move on to other issues. No fewer than 166 owners of small and medium-scale enterprises in Ondo State have benefited from the state COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus Grant, also known as Ondo Cares. Governor Oluwarotimi,
lives affected by the pandemic have distributed grants to SMEs in Ondo State. The Administrative Secretary, Mr. Banjo Akingbade, said the program is aimed at reducing financial burden of the small and medium-scale enterprises in Ondo State by partnering financial agencies to ensure successful implementation of the project.
So that you can get out of economic quagmire that were brought about because of COVID-19 and its attendant effects. This program is non-discriminatory, whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. People from different backgrounds are involved, because the essence is to help Nigerians without any form of discrimination.
Chairman of Ondo Cares Steering Committee, Mr. Emmanuel Igbason, represented by Head of State Coordinating Unit, Mr. Bamidele Daisi, said the grants would help in reducing the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on SMEs affected by the global crisis.
The people you are seeing here today, they are the ones that the state government under this program has assisted in paying 40% of the loan that they borrowed during COVID-19, which COVID-19 affected them from paying back during that period.
Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, represented by the chairman, Ondo State Microcredit Agency, Mrs. Adenike Ademujimi, while noting that the grant is not a loan, restated the current administration's dedication to making life comfortable for residents of the state.
The governor had been so kind and compassionate to ameliorate the hardship of COVID-19 and the adverse effect it has on the businesses of people doing business, irrespective of state of origin in Ondo State, because we have different nationalities residing in Ondo State, doing business in Ondo State, and it's not discriminating.
Beneficiaries commended the state government for the gesture.
As we all knew that during the COVID-19, it really affected the private school too much. Some of us are on loan for the COVID-19, but there's nothing we can do. We can't pay our teachers, all our staff get stranded, we ourselves to feed them is a problem. But the governor came in and elevated the poverty from us. We pray God will be with the governor in Jesus' name.
This man has put laughter in our faces. Yes. Look at the government, we are suffering, crying, but this man has made us to laugh today.
We, the market people, we are telling you, we are solidly behind the governor.
Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn pé wọ́n bá wa san owó yìí, wọ́n gbélé sí o, ọ̀fẹ́ náà fún wa o, gbogbo ibi tá ti yáwó náà ni wọ́n ti dá padà síbẹ̀ tó bá wa san, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gómìnà wa.
The Ondo Cares Intervention Program for SMEs is the first phase and an extension of the NG Cares, which is an emergency program and is aimed at supporting state-level efforts to respond to COVID-19 induced socio-economic crisis. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
Let's check politics. The Independent National Electoral Commission says 65,699 uncollected permanent voter cards were destroyed by hoodlums who attacked two of its offices in Ogun and Osun states. According to Chairman INEC Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, 904 ballot boxes, 29 voting cubicles, 30 megaphones, 57 election bags, and 8 electric power generators were also destroyed by the unscrupulous elements. The attacks occurred separately at the Commission's offices in Abeokuta's South Local Government Area of Ogun State and the Ede South Local Government Area of Osun State. Okoye, in a statement, said both incidents occurred in the early hours of today, noting that while the entire building of its Abeokuta office was set ablaze, a portion of its Ede office was burnt. The INEC National Commissioner said security agencies have been alerted and investigation had commenced into the worrisome attacks. You're watching the news at 7 on OSRC television. You can also watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. We will be back shortly. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on the news at 7. Residents of Iyoma and Adegbola areas of Akure metropolis have lauded Ondo State government for the rehabilitation of township roads in the area. OSRC's Olumide Adeluwoye, who visited the two communities, reports that respondents were also unanimous in praising the contractors who handled the projects for what they described as quality jobs.
For now, auto accidents are frequent around the Iyoma, no thanks to potholes and deplorable condition of the roads, but residents have a cause to heave a sigh of relief. Motorists and other road users said the state government's intervention could not have come at a better time.
Like this place where we are standing was done in, I think, 2 or 3 days. Now this is good because apart from the fact that they've been fixing this road, every government that comes in tries to fix the pothole, is trying to do something different. They fixed it and then they are putting another layer of asphalt on the road, which would also make it to last longer than the usual quick fix.
Thank the governor for the new renovation of the road. It was very nice. And it already changed the environment of the district.
Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀gàn torí bọ́ọ̀nù ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ rí tẹ́lẹ̀ àwọn yásẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní adẹ̀dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn wọ́n ṣe bá wa ń da ọ̀nà ìbáyìí látọ̀nà wọn kò ní dàrú lágbára náà.
It was the same kettle of fish at Adibola Road as residents decried the former state of the road, lauding Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu's government for heeding to their persistent cry after many years of neglect by previous administrations.
ọ̀nà yẹn láti bí ilé epo níbi àti wọ bí Adégbọlá yẹn láti bẹ̀yẹn ọ̀nà bẹ̀yẹn náà ò dáa gbogbo ẹ̀ ti bàjẹ́ ó bá wa ṣe ó dẹ̀ ti bá wa ṣe oríta mẹ́rin bí tó ti bàjẹ́ ńbẹ̀ nísìnyí ṣe ni àyè wà kò sí dust ó free mọ́tò ń lọ machine ń lọ àánú àwa náà tá a dẹ̀ wà ládùúgbò inú wa dùn fún ìdí èyí a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn.
ẹ wo kọ́tà wa gan wọ́n ti bá wa tún gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe torí kọ́tà wa yìí àwa gan a máa ń sọ pé báwo ni kọ́tà yìí ṣe rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ti bá wa ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ báyìí inú wa dùn sí fún nǹkan tí ìjọba Akérédolú tó bá wa ṣe.
mo dẹ̀ rí àwọn ibì kọ̀ọ̀kan ní àwọn ìgboro tí a ṣe náà ó wà òkè so lágbára Ọlọ́run àdúrà mi sí wọn ni pé Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ máa fún wọn lágbára bí wọ́n dẹ̀ ti ń ṣe Ọlọ́run á san wọ́n lẹ́san tó dáa.
While the residents expressed confidence that the newly rehabilitated roads will stand the test of time, the contractor, Mr. Olawoye Ayorinde, told Osrc News that his company did their assigned job according to specification.
Yoma is about 1 point to that this show boy here. To that place is about 1.5 kilometers. You can see that we are working. The equipment are in the place. The asphalt, the roller, the machines. We are working presently.
Some of the roads that have been reconstructed under the first phase of the ongoing rehabilitation, and among others, Olumide Adeluoye, Osrc.
President Muhammadu and elections. The president made this known in an interview in the United Kingdom after meeting with King Charles III at Buckingham Palace, Buhari by December 15 this year. Several aviation workers' unions have threatened to embark on national airports. Employers under various unions in the aviation sector vowed to resist the moves by the federal government to sell off the Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt and Kano international airports. The Federal Ministry of Aviation had announced Corporación América Airports Consortium as the preferred bidder for the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Also, AENL Consortium was selected as the reserve bidder for the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. The High Court of the Federal Capital Territory has set aside the contempt proceedings and all the orders. Chizoba Oji set aside the proceedings after hearing an application brought by the EFCC chairman. The court found that at the time of the order, the EFCC chairman was not in contempt of court as he had complied with the order that the respondent's Range Rover vehicle be released, and by several internal memoranda, the applicant had initiated the Commission's internal mechanism to ensure the payment of 40 million naira to the respondent. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has said that the federal government is monitoring Twitter closely under the new ownership of Elon Musk. The federal government had in 2021 banned the social media platform, claiming it was being used as a medium to spread fake news and hate speech in an attempt to destabilize the country's unity. The minister, who spoke at a news conference in Abuja, said there is no intention of banning the platform again, but said the government will also not sit by and allow any platform whatsoever to throw the nation into crisis. The Kaduna State government has debunked online messages about a fresh bandit attack and an alleged blockade of the Kaduna-Abuja road. The State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arowan, described the reports as false and mischievous and advised citizens and road users to disregard it. The statement explained that the state government is in constant touch with security agencies in the area and constantly following security situation on the Kaduna-Abuja road as well as other locations. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, says security agencies tackling insecurity are sometimes forced to stoop low to negotiate with bandits or kidnappers in order to free hostages unhurt. Alkali Baba said it would be an exercise in futility if terrorists who are armed abduct persons and the police go in search of them under captivity using extreme force. The IGP spoke against the backdrop of over 80 Chibok girls still in Boko Haram captivity, including 29 students of FGGC Birni Yauri who have not been set free several years after their abduction. United Nations member states have adopted November 18 as the World Day for Prevention and Healing from Child Sexual Exploitation, Abuse and Violence. The resolution was adopted at the 77th UN General Assembly under Agenda Item 131, Sexual Exploitation and Abuse, Implementing a Zero Tolerance Policy. UNGA President spokesperson Paulina Greer said the resolution was sponsored by Nigeria and Sierra Leone and co-sponsored by 111 member states. It called for raising public awareness and the need to prevent and eliminate child abuse and violence online and offline. The resolution noted that girls are at greater risk of experiencing forced sex and sexual exploitation and called for rehabilitation and support for them to mitigate lifelong consequences that affect their physical and mental health as well as well-being. The Democratic Republic of Congo's army says more than 3,000 people have responded to a call by President Felix Tshisekedi for volunteers to help fight another armed group, M23. The armed group is widely believed to be supported by neighboring Rwanda, a claim the government in Kigali.
I am here because we are suffering too much. My family, my sisters, they have suffered a lot from war. Some of them were raped. So we're here because from now on, I need to defend myself.
Replacing UN peacekeepers with East African Community forces is stupidity. The countries in the East African Community are the same countries already aggressing Congo. We disagree with the presence of these East African Community forces. They say that we are with the Congo's army and nothing else.
This is the argument from our enemies trying to destroy the image of these recruits. None of them are coming from the armed groups. All those from the armed groups are in cantonment in another camp. None of them are here.
All right, let's move on to sports. Nigeria has lost by 2-0 in a friendly international